Will the Indiana Hoosiers basketball team finally get rid of its shooting woes? Find out on this episode of Days of Our Lives. Indiana Sports Connection.
Pretty simple. I win.
For three on the way.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this Indiana Hoosiers community on here and Colts community, although we're not talking about the Colts that much on here anymore. We got a lot to talk about today. Mike Woodson, the Indiana Hoosiers, they've had a couple of exhibition games to talk about, and we're going to talk about Bryson Tucker in this episode. His mid-range game, why that is good for the Hoosiers. It fits into Mike Woodson's system a lot. And what are we hearing about Mike Woodson and these Indiana Hoosiers? I watched this on Field of 68. Hillbilly Monkey, roll that clip of what we heard about the Indiana practices. Roll it.
And he admits that in our conversation, you got to be able to get it done both ways. You can't just have two traditional postmen and not be able to make shots. And a couple times in practice, a couple of the returnees were passing up shots. And Woody goes, shoot the damn ball. We need to make threes to have success. If they do that, the setup's there.
So there you go. Mike Woodson's telling them, shoot the J, shoot the three. You got to shoot the three if you're open. That's good because three-pointers count. And I'm not great at math, but three-pointers count as 1/3 more. So a 2-point basket has 2 parts. And so each part is worth half. And a 3-point basket is worth 3 points, so each point is worth 1/3. So you're making 1/3 more points because you're getting an extra point because you're behind the line. That is good to know about the game of basketball. And then you look at Indiana and their stats of this last game, and most of you are probably just like me. You're like, that's right. But look, I don't think Luke Goody is not going to be 2 of 9 in a game like he was in the exhibition the other day. There's got to be a little bit of nerves playing in Assembly Hall some of the first times here. So we'll chalk it up to that. I'm not going to start freaking out when it's only the first week in November about this team yet, because I like a lot of what we see out there. But first, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button down below. Welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here. And we do have a giveaway on the show at 1,300 subscribers. You could win a sweatshirt just like the one I'm wearing, a vintage sweatshirt from Rally House. Hit that subscribe button down below and comment down below, and you'll be entered to win some apparel on the show. And this show is brought to you by BetUS. Use my promo code Indiana125 and save 125% free money on your first, count it, 3 deposits. So 1 deposit, 2 deposit, 3 deposits, and you're getting 25% free cash back on those first 3 deposits by using my promo code Indiana125. And all of the AdSense revenue from this channel is going to T2T.org, Tunnels for Towers, giving the AdSense revenue to the veterans. Without them, we are nothing. You've subscribed. Hit that thumbs up button because that's going to get the video out to more Hoosier fans. And we need to start talking about basketball again. The football is taking us away from the basketball. And we need to start talking about basketball again. Without further ado, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. All right. So the Marion exhibition, and I want to put this picture up there. Pat Knight kissing the floor. Very cool. On the 1-year anniversary of Bob Knight's death was on November 1st. And he had a really cool shirt on that said the General on it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, Pat Knight, he grew up in Assembly Hall, and that's what he was saying in the press conference afterwards. So thought that was really cool to have him at Assembly Hall. Steve Downing is their athletic director, by the way, as well. But what did you think about the Hoosiers? And what I take out of this game, yes, Miles Rice, he can go 100 miles an hour. And look, it was kind of like a ragtag type of game. I mean, it was a game where it looked like the varsity team playing the JV or the freshman team. You know, I will say that I thought Marion did a great job of getting some shots off, but they just didn't make shots at a very high clip. But I feel like they did get off of screens, and Marion got some pretty decent looks at the basket, just weren't able to make a lot of them. But what was my big takeaway from this? Bryson Tucker, his basketball IQ and what he is able to do out there on the floor. And look, I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, well, he's got like a real great mid-range game, and, you know, that's not good for when you shoot a lot of three-pointers. Look, here's my deal on the mid-range game, just what I think about it. You can shoot the mid-range game if you want to. You just got to make sure you make them. The reason why Hood Schifino was able to shoot some shots in the mid-range game, because he made them at like a 80% clip. If Bryson Tucker can hit shots in the mid-range game, and look, I mean, part of my brain, I'm thinking, Mike Woodson likes Bryson Tucker, and Mike Woodson likes the mid-range game, because that's what Mike Woodson was great at. He was great at just getting off the block and using the backboard and hitting shots in the mid-range game. So Bryson Tucker, he fits into Mike Woodson's system. Whether you like his system or you don't like it or whatever, I can see that he is going to be, I think he's going to play off the bench as the seventh or eighth guy, but I think he's going to be a real contributor. And you can tell by that Marion game, he was just able to get to his spots. You can tell he really thinks ahead, getting behind the defense in different parts. He'll be the monkey. Play that clip of him when he caught that ball like right underneath the basket. That was just such a heads-up play to gather him. A heads-up play to gather himself back up and go back up with it. I know they were just playing against Marion, but him being 9 of 12 in that game, he really showed you something there. Not that I'm disappointed with any of the other guys, but he just showed out in a way that like some of the other guys didn't. And then just getting to a spot, you can tell he knows like how to just get to a spot on the floor where he feels comfortable knocking a shot down. He just needs to extend himself further from the basket, but that will come with time. You can tell he's got good mechanics. Like he just has. That's why, I mean, this guy's going to be probably my favorite new player on Indiana, because he has great fundamentals. And I think all IU basketball fans, we all have like a nostalgia for the fundamentals, a nostalgia for doing things the right way. And when you watch Bryson Tucker play, you can just tell he's just like, he's got it up here. Seems like he knows where to be. He seems like he's very coachable. He's got a great shot. He can get to a spot on the floor. There is so much to like about this guy. I mean, remember David West that played for the Pacers? And this was a time when everybody was shooting more and more three-pointers about 10 years ago. But he could like really kill you in the mid-range game. It can still work. My theory on it is you can shoot the mid-range as long as you shoot it at like an 80% clip, which Bryson Tucker looks like he has confidence to knock those shots down when he's open. That was a huge, just kind of bright spot when I was watching that game. Galloway got out there and played some more in the game, so it was great to see Galloway out there. He had some real funky thing on his knee that looked like it came out of like Batman's lair or something like that. So, and Galloway hit a three-pointer. Luke Goody, he was 2 of 9 in the game. Looked like they were forcing the ball into his hands to try to get him a three-point shot to go in Assembly Hall. Luke Goody is definitely going to help this team. And, I mean, some of the superstars, they really shined in this game. I mean, Mbako, Miles Rice, it was a ragtag game. So, I mean, of what I'm trying to take of this, I saw a few times Renew guarding some guys out far away from the basket on the perimeter, and it made me think, what are you doing out there? But it is what it is. I mean, it's just an exhibition game. I'm not going to overreact to it. because it is just an exhibition game. But I think here's like what I really want to find out. And we're going to probably find this out when they play South Carolina, and that's only in a couple weeks. But, right now, Miles Rice, he can go super fast. But when they play against some better competition, will he get stymied? Will his and I don't think it will, but that's going to be a main test to see how does this team play when they're really tested by a better opponent. I mean, obviously, that's what we're all waiting for at this point. It's like, can Miles Rice push the pace like that, get to the rim? I mean, so far, you see him in the open court, and he can just bring it right in and lay the ball up and really take anybody off the dribble. But they're not playing against good competition. So, I don't want to sit here and rant on and on about different things in this. Oh, yeah? What did you think about the game? Carved from the sands of the Wabash River and formed into a monkey lamp that's sold at Home Goods. It's the Hillbilly Monkey Perspective on Indiana Sports Connection. Miles Rice and Bryson Tucker, these two guys are the smartest two guys on this team. They know where to be. They know how to direct people where to go. They seem to know what's going on defense. Bryson Tucker a few times called out that there was a zone. I mean, you barely ever see a freshman guy. Remember in Baco last year how clueless he was on defense? Bryson Tucker, this guy seemed to be the smartest guy on this team, and he's going to take them as far as he wants to go. Even though he's a freshman, I think this guy, he's got it going on. Well, Bryson Tucker certainly does have it going on, doesn't he? Hillbilly Monkey likes him. Video. And I don't want to put too much negative emphasis on things that I did see during the game. They shot a decent amount of three-pointers, and they have to keep shooting more three-pointers. If they shoot 25 a game, that is critical. Now, as they play against some better competition, I don't know, in the games coming up, will we see them continue to shoot 25 threes a game or over 20? I think they got to stay in that range of shooting 25 to 30, really. I mean, and you see a lot of teams out there shooting that many. It's not that hard to get to. Woody has been putting emphasis on it. Hillbilly Monkey, we got another clip of what they said on Field of 68 about Woody and what he's doing out there with the team. This guy was at practice and had a lot to say. Roll that clip.
Well, I just do think that I agree with the questions and whatnot. I can tell you guys, I feel like we all see this sport. We know what success looks like. I'm being really front here and saying this. Mike Woodson, the afternoon I was at that Indiana practice, it's one of the hardest practices I've ever seen. Ever. But here's the thing. He knows the group can handle it. He knows that Umar Ballo can handle it. He knows that Miles...
Hell, as much as you're paying, he ought to be able to handle it.
And that's a great point, Terrence. That's a great... what you see is what you got.
So this guy is saying that Mike Woodson is really busting their balls out there. We're just going to have to see about that. This is a real make it or break it time for Indiana basketball, I feel like. And Mike Woodson has a great season. He'll get himself another year. If he doesn't have a great season, he'll probably get fired. So happy to have all of the sports back. And it is just crazy that basketball is kind of taking a backseat to football. I think we have a really, really fun team to watch in this Indiana basketball team. I think it's going to be a really fun season. And hopefully, what's really most concerning to me is deep into January. Where are you going to be deep into January? You got to be ready. You got to be ready the first week of January for that Big Ten season to really kick off. That's going to be the hardest part because there are some tough teams in the Big Ten, and it's all about coaching and X's and O's. And can Mike Woodson have the wherewithal to really push through this season and put his best foot forward, it's all on Mike Woodson's shoulders. In my opinion, it's like he has to be able to get this group to play together and really officially get them over the hump and to the Sweet 16. We're going to watch it all unfold, and I'll be making a video about Indiana football, what's coming up against the Michigan Wolverines, a preview of how that is going to go down. But thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans. Hey guys, thank you for joining me on the video today. If you want to see more videos like this, click this video right here and you'll see more Indiana Sports Connection. Thank you for subscribing and giving the video a thumbs up and being here today. I appreciate it more than you know. Bye-bye.